Hello everyone, it is Anne-Marie Julian Wetzel here. Welcome to this creative session. I am so glad you're here. I am a minute early because I always, like Stacy, wants to make sure that I am showing okay, then I can see my comments. So pop in, say hello, and we can get started. So, as you can see, I have the banners here, which Stacy gave an amazing presentation on the banners. And I'm going to be focusing on our letter dies, the party dies. Hello, Heidi. Welcome. Hello, Patricia or Pat and Kristen. Welcome. So I'm so glad you guys are here. So we will get started in a minute. Again, I'm going to show some artwork primarily using the letters. Actually, Stacy did a great job, as I mentioned earlier, with the banners. I'm going to show you tons of artwork with our party alphabet dies and using them in all different ways. And again, Stacy actually inspired me because I was working on a layout for another presentation coming up, and I'm like, I'm going to do the smushing technique, so you will see that. So hello, Janice. Welcome, Lisa. And Marty's watching too. So we got about 14 people here. This is what I'm going to show you. I'm going to give you a sneak peek. It's all about triangles, right? So that was one of our challenges last week. So here is a fun card with triangles. So we're making lots of triangles here. So I'm going to show you that. I was inspired by this, and you guys probably have seen because it's all over Pinterest, is this angled card, right? So love this, but then I came across this pattern here. I'm like, let's do this. Again, it's all about the triangles. But again, this is using the Floral Impressions Designer Series paper, which is absolutely gorgeous. And so then I saw this. In addition to me showing you how to make this card, I'm also going to show you how to make the envelope to fit in the card. Okay, so stay tuned for that to watch. Hello, Barbara. All right, so again, if you're just joining, I mentioned earlier, Stacey did a great job on showing you lots of different ideas with the banners and a beautiful layout she shared. So I'm going to show you the alphabet dies. Now it comes in this big case, and it can, if you're familiar with Stampin' Up, it comes with cardboard stock with double-sided tape in there, but I needed to get magnets. These are really heavy and sturdy, nice size. They are, I want to say let's see here. Yeah, they're 2.5 inches about tall, right? So I have all of the alphabet here, and then they actually have some of the other elements for other countries and symbols that may be needed. So it comes with a bunch. All right, so I just stored it back into the original, but I keep it on my magnetic plates there. So let me set these aside and show you some artwork. So one of the things that I said was I'm creating layout for Africa, a trip that I took a couple of years ago. I'm actually going back again, but I did the smushing technique, and I used the Darling Duckling, which is one of the in colors, and crumb cake, and I spelled out lions. So here's the original piece that I created, and then again, using our alphabet, I created lions. So that's going to be part of the title of my page. Again, so many ways to use these letters and things that you can do with them for scrapbooking and card making. So I do have some cards too. All right, so there is that. This layout here is a sneak peek of what we can expect in the new catalog. So I am giving you a sneak peek of this. This is called, I believe it's called Peace on Earth. It's absolutely gorgeous paper. And I actually did this layout for my great niece, but she was holding snowballs and playing in the snow. So I had done the word snow, and similar to doing it all on one piece, I did an ombre effect. So I took ombre, took a piece of cardstock and did multiple colors, and hers were snow smiles. But this is all smiles. I just wanted to show the versatility of this paper that you'll have an opportunity. Comes out on September 3rd. But I did snowflakes on hers. Here again, all smiles, but using the larger letters and doing an ombre, using blending brushes and rubbing them through the 3 different colors. I'll see, I'm putting my letters upside down so you can see that they do all go there. Okay, and again, same with that, just a little bit of different shades I used for them. So that is one single page layout. This is just done in strips, and I popped up the strips. Super easy but fun layout. And then here is another layout, very, very similar. And I'm going to pull this out of the plastic sleeve because it will show some glare. But here are my neighbors across the street, a little boy, all about the treats. Again, I did the ombre there. Very similar with doing the strips of paper and double layering that. But this is the spooky, what is it? We're actually using it, the Spooky Halloween paper pack that's available. So there is that. These letters here are the alphabet a la mode. And again, using the blending brushes. This is mini. So we have tons of different alphabet dies. But again, the large titles are just amazing. So I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to show a couple of cards here. Again, this here, and this is kind of hard because this is an eclipse card, right? So Stacy showed you one of those also. This says hi. So again, definitely can be used for dad, mom, hi, hugs. You could probably get hugs on there. And then again, if you do 5x7 cards as well, or a larger size card. This here, I used the floral, no, what did I use here? The Layers of Beauty stamp set. So I stamped that image on my card base. Then I cut out the letters, hi, you make my heart smile. But I stamped and colored it in and made the card. And you can see the depth in that. I think once I tilt it, you can see that. And then here again is another sample card. This is using the Sunflower embossing folder. And then again, the Floral Impressions Designer Series paper. Again, obviously the letters YOU for you. And again, it's an eclipse card. I lifted that all up, and let's celebrate you, right? So very fun ways to use these letters. Here is another one. Trying to pull it out of. Come on, I probably should have pulled these out beforehand. I did not know that it would be sticking. There we go. Okay, this here is done in an embossing folder. So can you see those letters? And then I just did a 3D embossing folder. This embossing folder is the exposed brick. So if you can see, love how that just shines through. So again, cut those letters out and ran it through that embossing folder. Very, very, very fun. Again, that also has the floral impressions. As you can see, I am enjoying the floral impressions. And this is another layout. Again, using the eclipsed format, but the eclipse is done on a scrapbook layout. Many times we see the eclipse on a card, right? But I created it and using Fun in the Sun. Again, these are the mini alphabets here. And I ran the embossing folder through. It's the Sunflower embossing folder. I ran that through with ink on it. And then I cut the letters out. So when you run that through with ink, you get that background of the color, whatever you used. And this was crushed curry. And then I actually just kind of like highlighted the letters in pecan, just to kind of let them stand out, but with the cone flower. And then again, using the sun, doing that same thing. And this is actually my hairdresser's son, having fun with the sunflower. So again, another great way of using those alphabet dies and with embossing folders. And then like Stacy did on hers, this is an overlay option. And I just cut this out on the designer series paper. This is the Weekend Adventure designer series paper, and then overlaid it with Early Espresso cardstock. So you can see that. Very fun ways to use it for cards and scrapbooking. So let's count the ways that I used this. I did the overlay here, or the offset. I did the smushing from, I did sunflower embossing folder. I did the ombre, and I think there's one more and I can't think of it now. Oh, a 3D embossed folder. So again, lots of ways to do this, and hope you guys enjoyed that inspiration and how you can use those letters. So as I promised, we are going to create this card here, and I'm going to bring this in a little bit, but not too much. All right, so this is a triple angled card. I will post the dimensions, but I'm also going to try to let you know what they are. But let's get started with this. So I'm going to do a Halloween card. We're going to use the Spooky Halloween. So I have 11 by 5.5. This is going to be our card base, and I'm going to score this at 5.5. Can you guys see that okay? Yep, I think you can. I can see it on my video, so I think you guys can too. So I'm going to score this. Make sure I'm using my scoring blade. This is the Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer. And I'm just going to fold that here. We're going to cut that in a bit. And then, where did I put that piece? Oh, here it is. This card stock is the Petunia Pop. And then we're going to have a 5 by 5 inch, or actually the next size is the inside. The 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. This is just going to go inside the card afterwards. We are not going to cut this piece. Then the next piece, as you can see, we're going down in quarter increments. This is going to be a 5 by 5. We're going to measure that out. Then, oh, actually this is next, 5 1/8 by 5 1/8. 5 by 5, 4 3/4 by 4 3/4, and then this little stinking cute guy, right? Little puppy dog, Halloween dog, which is part of the Spooky Halloween stamp and dies. It has them both in there. And again, I love that all of the stamps or all of the dies don't necessarily have a stamp, right? Stampin' Up! Is really great about having the dies and making layers of items and stuff. So really, really do enjoy that from them. And let's get started then with doing all of our cutting. So basically, for mostly every piece except for that one inside piece, we need to find the center point. So I am just going to use, now I could use a ruler. I am just going to end up using my paper trimmer. So again, this center piece is, we're scoring that at 5 1/2, and 2 3/4 is going to be my center point here. And I'm going to grab my pencil. I know I have it somewhere here. Okay. So 2 3/4, and here is the cutting area, whatever we call that. I'm just going to put a pencil mark there. We will cut, actually I'm going to cut it now. So I cut that at 2 3/4. I am going to take that center point and I am going to line it up with my scored edge. So again, so this is all going to start with making our triangles. You want to try to be precise, but precise. I just want to make sure that I have that. All right, going down to that. So we're going to save that piece, and then I'm going to do the same. I'm going here where that pencil mark was, again with a scored line. And I have that, and we have our piece that's going to be part of our base, right? I'm going to set that aside, and then my 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 is going to be, again, the inside. That's going to fit here. We are not cutting that piece at all. Set that aside. Then my 5 1/8 by 5 1/8. So again, for any type of measurement, if you don't want to measure it out and it's easier for you to do it this way, I am going to take this, line up my corners here, right? And I'm just going to give it a pinch, little pinch there, and that's my center mark. And now with that, I'm just going to put a pencil mark there so I can see it a little bit better. So as you can see, there's my center mark there. So let's cut that from this corner here to where I just pinched it. I should have brought my glasses over, but I think I got that right. All right, put that aside. And then again, we're going to do that with the same, making another triangle. So I thought this was fun, that we kind of switched roles. I ended up doing the card and Stacy is doing, or did the layout. So it's fun because I like switching it up. All right, so now I have the 5 by 5. Again, that is 2 1/2. So I am just going to put my pencil mark, and we're going to do the same thing with putting the angle and making a triangle. We're actually kind of making 3 triangles, right? And then again, I'm going to take that, bring that point up there. That's where my pencil mark initially was. And we'll go in and erase all those pencil marks afterwards, after I'm done cutting here. All right, so we have that and those pieces. And then this is the 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. Again, so I don't have to figure out the 16ths of my measurements. I am just, like I said, bringing those up together. I'm going to do a little point or a little pinch, get my center mark, and then do my cutting. All right, easy. Don't sweat the measurements. All right. All right, so we have all of ours. Now, again, the other thing to keep in mind when you're choosing your designer series paper is you want something that doesn't have everything in a certain direction. If you do, just make sure you're cutting it the right way, and so that it shows up in the right direction and not upside down. Ask me how I know. I tried that already. All right, so let's take our base, and that is going to go there. Like Stacy, I use my silicone mat. You can use glue, gives you a little bit leeway of moving things around because you want to have them. But the adhesive that I use, and where did I end up putting it? Here it is. The adhesive that I use, the Stat Liner, same what was Stacy's using. It has a forgiving mechanism where I can kind of adjust it. And we're not doing it so it's that big of that's going to be that noticeable. So I am just going to take my pencil marks off of here. Can't really see many of them, but I'm going to play it safe. All right. So for this here, we have the white already here, and then I'm going to take those two larger pieces, which I believe these are the larger pieces, and line them up, and they're going to go right there. And these should meet in the center, right? Voila. So let's put some adhesive on there. You also want to make sure that you get some adhesive on your point. So again, this silicone, it's nice because I'm running this and nothing is getting on the silicone. So if I was to run this on the paper, I'm going to get stickiness on the paper. I am not getting, silicone does not get the stickiness at all. And I am just, it should be like 1/8 of an inch. And do the same on this side here. Again, it's a fairly easy card to assemble. Again, that's going to meet in the center point there. And that meets down there, right? Right down the center. So let's get this. And put that in there. All right, and then your top piece also, that's gonna fit here. We're going to use that, and this will be the next piece. This, you will have one triangle that you won't end up using. So let's add this here. Again, you want to make sure that you are putting your angles or your points and getting adhesive on them. Don't leave them short. And let's do this one now. Super fun. I love the colors in this Halloween paper. And once, you guys should be getting your catalogs if soon, I would imagine. And you will see that this is going to have a scrapbook workshop too. So I'm excited about that they came out with a scrapbook workshop with the spooky Halloween. Okay, so we have that. Now we're going to do our angle pieces. So before that, let's get our stamping done. I only have one stamp. I'm going to do the Happy Halloween. There are other things here. No tricks, all treats. Don't worry, eat sweets. Spooky, and then Happy Halloween. Again, this also has, from a die standpoint, little bats. Here are the little dog and the cat, trick-or-treater, a broomstick, 2 little pumpkins, a coffin, a fence, and the haunted house. So those are the additional dies that come with this set here. And I already pulled out, and I'm going to use the Petunia Pop to stamp my sentiment. So I've actually made one of these already, and I'll show you the little kitty cat on it. But I have 2 grandsons, so I have to make one for each of them, right? And I am just gonna put Happy Halloween right there. Perfect. Stamp off my excess, and then I will clean that with my chamois. All right, so let's get this ink out of the way. And now we're going to start doing our angles here. And I just making sure that I'm doing my angles in the right fashion. Actually, the wrong way. All right, so here we go. That's how your angles, your arrows, your triangles are going to end up going. They're going to point to your corner there. And we have the white cardstock that will be layered up to go that way. So let's get those put together. So think of all of the different occasions. So yes, I am making a Halloween card, but this template could be for, actually one, elegant, fun. Again, here I used the Celebratory Sips for that card. Right? And making sure that I am putting it down in the right angle. Okay, so again, just want to make sure I got that going that way and that going that way. So that's our triple point card, and it should be able to stand up. So that'll stand up for you as well. All right, so we have to put our designer series on here. That's gonna go there, and that's gonna go there. I'm sorry if I'm not seeing any questions that are coming through. I know Stacy's watching, but I definitely will go through and answer any questions that you have. And like I said, I'm gonna give you all of the measurements that will be put to in the guide, so you have those measurements. All right, so narrow. Okay, now what you need to know is when you're putting these on, you don't want to have adhesive down in these sections here. So I'm going to start with this one here. My trick here is I have this pointed. I have these kind of lined up because they should be going to the ends there, right? So I am just going to lift this up, and I'm going to take a pencil mark lightly. And I know that I don't want to put any adhesive down below that section there. So again, lining that up. I pull that up. No pencil mark. I did it. I got it right. All right, so now we're going to do the same here. Just kind of line that up, point that to the right direction, lift, hold, lift and hold in place there. Again, putting my adhesive. Oh, you know what? I knew Stacy said something about not having enough adhesive around, and I just ran out of adhesive. So hopefully yeah, I'm not a glue person, but I'm gonna do it. I'm doing the glue. We're almost done, so. And voila. All right, we've got our card. Now again, stay with me because I'm going to show you how to do the envelope, but we still have to decorate the front of it. I probably will put some bling on here. I did not put any bling on here, but here is that little adorable Halloween dog. I stamped and colored the little Halloween bucket. He already comes holding his little treat there. I colored this in the Petunia Pop and the Timid Tiger markers, and then I colored this with Crumb Cake to Stampin' Blends. Now these here shapes are these two shapes. I love nesting dies, so I took this one and that one and cut it out. So you can see here is the first one that I made. This is my protege. This is a little cute, adorable Kit Kat, and I did the same colors in coloring them, but I cut out the little broom stick there for them, and I did the white with the Petunia Pop, and here I did the opposite, Petunia Pop and the white for him. And I am just going to put him in the center there. I did put dimensions underneath him, but I'm not going to put any more dimensions here because I think we have enough dimension there as it is. So let me do that. And I'm just going to put them there. And yay, we have our little card. So I hope you guys like it. All right. So again, here are the two cards together. Super cute. Let me show you how I did the envelope. Now there is, I think it's on Pinterest. All I did was Google on Pinterest how to make square envelopes is what I actually Googled. And so I came up with it, and the post in Pinterest actually gave dimensions for various size square envelopes. So if I remember, I'm going to try to post that link there as well. Before I move on to the envelope, let me just talk again. This is the Celebratory Sips. This is one of the back sides of that. And then if you're familiar with the Celebratory Sips, the paper has the die cuts. So these, I didn't color these in. These were just cut and fussy cut from the designer series paper. So super fun, super cute. And again, I did use that same stampiness, but I didn't do the double on it because it had enough color. And then here, I did birthday wishes. So cheers. All right, now let's talk about your envelope. Now this is a scoreboard. This is an old Martha Stewart. I've had this for ages. Stampin' Up! Does have a scoreboard, and most of the scoreboards have a triangle mechanism, and they're pretty much stored in the back here. So I found this helpful to use this, and I'm going to set this here. This is cut for an envelope to fit a 5. Let me rephrase that. It's a 5 3/4 square envelope. Because this is 5 1/2. I wanted something with a little bit of wiggle room, not too tight to get it in there. So this is what we're making here, a 5 3/4 envelope. So this is at 9 inches squared. I'm just using white daisy, but you could just think of the possibilities now that you know how to make this envelope and using designer series paper. and just add white piece where you want your mailing address to go to. It's perfect. So I'm lining this up because it meets here at this little tick mark here. They meet evenly there. And I'm taking my score, and the instructions told me to do this at 3.5. So I am doing this at 3.5, and then I'm going to turn it. I'm going to continue to turn it for each side, and I'm going to do 3.5 all the way down. So interesting. Have any of you guys ever made an envelope before? This is actually, for a square envelope, this is an actual first time. I did do one, a regular size envelope, not too long ago. I haven't taught it yet. I plan to. All right, so here, gotta get my, again, so I'm just going at that 3.5 mark. Last one here. I get myself in trouble when I go try to do the second one. Okay, so as you can see, well, that's not going to bother me, right? You have little triangles here on these corners. We're going to cut those out. That'll help us fold. I'm just taking my scissors, and I am going to cut that on each end. Yes, Sharon, that is a good point. I probably could mail these to my grandsons, but I will probably be hand delivering these to them with their Halloween treat basket gift. But when you do larger envelopes, you will pay a little bit more postage on them. But that doesn't mean that if you're handing over a gift that you, I mean, you can make a larger card and hand it over without postage. But yes, all postage is expensive. It's crazy. Every month I feel like the postage rate goes up, which is so discouraging because I don't want people to give up on sending cards. It makes people feel happy. So, all right, I am going to fold these all on the scored line now. One more. Right? And voila, we have our envelope. So again, I need to get a sharper blade because I've been cutting too much, but I would do it this way. So again, I am going to take my silicone mat and I am going to put it along the edge here. Oh, I don't have my tape runner. I don't want, hold on. Easy enough fix, not too far away. Let's get a new package out. Sorry for the delay on this, but now what did I do with my tape runner? Oh, it's right here. Right here. Snapping that in. Okay. So I am just going to run it along the edges there. Again, you can use glue, whatever your favorite adhesive is. But that is all you need to do those two sides, and you have your envelope. And look, fits nicely in there. This here, we will fold down. And if you wanted to seal it, it's up to you, but you could put double-sided tape and let them seal it. If you were, you know, how many times have you given a card and let somebody else give it away? So you could put double-sided tape here and then leave that top portion on, or again, I can seal it, or I don't have to seal it at all. Just stick that in and voila. We have a nice envelope. There you go. I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to make that. Again, you'll probably need a scoreboard or an envelope. They do sell some kind of envelope makers. I haven't seen one in ages, but I was glad I had my scoreboard and to be able to show that to you guys. So thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make this triple point card. Again, I will put the instructions under guides so that you have the dimensions to make this on your own. And also the link to that Pinterest where it showed me how to make the different size envelopes. I will do that. And again, I hope you liked all of the varieties of ways to use those alphabet dies in the bundle. Again, we have a perk for this weekend if you buy the bundle of the dies and the banners, and you'll get a free paper pack up to $12.50, and again, free shipping. So it's a great deal. Thank you guys so very much. Have a great day, and we'll see you at 5 o'clock on Zoom. Join us where you dialed in this morning, if you joined us in the morning, and where we played bingo. Use that same link, and we'll see you then. Bye for now.